Golden Staff of Destiny, the saga of Manco Capac and the birth of the sun. The wind that howls across the high altiplano of the Andes tells a story older than the stones of Machu Picchu. It is a story of a wandering tribe, a golden staff, and a divine mandate to build an empire where the earth met the heavens. To understand the Inca, you must go back to the beginning, back to the misty dawn of the 12th century and the legendary figure of Manco Capac, the emergence from the earth. Long ago, the world was in shadow. The great creator god, Viracocha, looked upon the rugged peaks and deep valleys of South America and decided it was time for humanity to rise. But these were not to be ordinary people. They were to be the Intipchuran, the children of the sun. According to the most sacred traditions, the earth opened at a place called Pakari Tampu, the House of Dawn. From the central cave of Tampu Tuk, 4 brothers and 4 sisters stepped into the biting cold of the Andean morning. At their head was Manco Capac, flanked by his sisters, most notably the fierce and wise Mama Ocolo. They were radiant, dressed in fine wool and carrying the authority of the gods. Manco held in his hand a gift from his father, the sun god Inti, a staff of solid gold. The mission was clear. They were to walk until the staff sank effortlessly into the soil. That spot would be the navel of the world. The long migration. The journey was not a simple stroll. It was a generational odyssey through some of the most unforgiving terrain on the planet. For years, the siblings and their followers, divided into 10 social groups called Alas, trekked through the mountains. The legend tells of internal strife and magical feats. Brothers were turned to stone or imprisoned in caves as the group tested their worthiness. Along the way, they weren't just looking for dirt, they were looking for a sign of divine favor. They survived by their wits, learning to terrace the steep slopes and communicate with the spirits of the peaks, the Apus. Finally, they reached the rim of a lush, emerald green valley. Manco Capac stepped forward and thrust the golden staff into the ground. It didn't just strike the surface, it vanished into the rich, dark earth of the Cusco Valley. The search was over. Building the navel of the world, settling the valley was not a peaceful affair. Local tribes already called the region home, and they did not give up their land easily. But Manco and Mama Ocolo were more than just conquerors, they were civilizers. Tradition says that Manco Capac taught the men the art of irrigation, showing them how to channel the mountain runoff to feed the corn. He taught them to build with stone, creating structures so precise that not even a knife blade could fit between the blocks. Meanwhile, Mama Ocolo gathered the women and taught them the sacred crafts, the spinning and weaving of alpaca and llama wool, and the management of the household. In the center of their new city, Cusco, Manco established the first temple to the sun. He laid the foundations of a system of governance that would eventually rule over 10 million people. He named his son Sinchi Roca as his heir, ensuring that the bloodline of the sun would continue to flow through the veins of the Sapa Inca. A universe of living spirits. To Manco Capac and his descendants, the world was a tapestry of the supernatural. This wasn't a religion you practiced on Sundays. It was a way of existing within a living landscape. The pantheon of the peaks at the top of the hierarchy was Viracocha, the distant creator who had traveled the world teaching skills to humanity before walking across the Pacific Ocean. Below him was Inti, the sun, the ancestor of the royal line. But the Inca world was also filled with feminine power. Mama Quilla, the moon mother and regulator of time. Pachamama, the earth mother, who required offerings of chicha and coca leaves to ensure a good harvest. Mama Cocha, the sea mother, distant but powerful. The power of the Huaca. The Incas believed in huacas, sacred objects or places infused with spiritual energy. A huaca could be a massive mountain, a peculiar rock, or even the mummified remains of a past ruler. On high mountain passes, travelers would create apachetas, piles of stones, adding a small pebble to the mound as a prayer for a safe journey. Divination and the price of favor life in the Andes was precarious. Drought, frost, or earthquakes could wipe out a civilization in a single season. To survive, the Inca believed they had to constantly communicate with the divine. Divination was the heart of Inca life. No general went to war and no farmer planted a seed without consulting the spirits. Priests, known as umu, would perform elaborate rituals. The lungs of the llama. Priests would sacrifice a white llama and inflate its lungs, reading the veins like a map of the future. Fire and coca. Practitioners would chew coca leaves to enter a trance, summoning spirits through the smoke of sacred fires. The great oracles. Deep in the valleys, idols like the one at Pachacamac were believed to speak to the people, offering warnings and guidance. Sometimes the gods demanded a higher price. In times of extreme disaster, a failing empire or a dying king, the Inca practiced capacocha, the ritual sacrifice of children. These children, chosen for their perfection, were feasted and then sent to the high peaks to live with the gods, serving as eternal ambassadors for their people. The rhythm of the empire. The legacy of Manco Capac was codified in a 30-day religious calendar. Each month was a festival, a blend of labor and worship. Capac Remi, December. The Lord Festival, a time of rest and initiation for the youth. Inti Raymi, June. The Festival of the Sun, celebrated during the winter solstice to plead for the sun's return. They used the quipu, a complex system of knotted strings, to keep track of it all. Since they had no written language, the Quipuca Mayak, the knot keepers, recorded everything from the number of llamas in the royal herds to the dates of the most ancient legends. The eternal king Manco Capac eventually passed from the world of the living, but in the Inca mind, he never truly left. His body was mummified and treated as if he were still alive. He was sat upon a golden throne, fed ritual meals, and carried through the streets of Cusco during festivals. This was the ultimate humanization of their history. The past was never truly behind them. The founder was always present, watching as his small valley tribe transformed into the land of the four quarters, the greatest empire the Americas had ever seen. From the first plunge of a golden staff to the sprawling stone fortresses of the 15th century, the story of Manco Capac is the story of a people who looked at the impossible heights of the Andes and decided that they didn't just want to live there, they wanted to touch the sun.